Hey guys, and welcome to our review of First Man, directed by Damien Chazelle, starring Ryan Gosling, Claire Foy, Kyle Chandler, Corey Stoll, and Jason Clarke. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Victoria Hulse.
Hi.
Phil Clark.
Shout out Christoph Cole.
And Adam Franey.
Shout out Lou. I think that's his name, Lou. We love you. Thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it.
God bless.
Love you so much.
First Man, though. Yeah, this movie we all saw at Tiff this past couple weeks ago? Week ago? A while ago.
Scott, we just saw it today.
2 weeks.
We literally just saw it.
We just came from the theater.
But First Man is a story of Neil Armstrong sort of encapsulating the mission to the moon and the whole journey leading up to that and sort of exploring NASA and the whole space mission, etc. First Man is the second film. Well, not the second film, but the next film after La La Land for Damien Chazelle. Very exciting. Runner-up, one might say. Almost won Best Picture.
Sort of one, really.
Almost. Almost.
Got its moment in the sun.
A couple years ago. 2 years ago. But, Adam, start with you.
Yes?
What do you think of First Man?
You love to start with me, don't ya?
I like to put you on the spot, you know.
I feel like Tim. Shout out Tim.
Producer Tim.
Hey!
Yeah, there. I like First Man a lot.
You like it.
A lot.
Interesting.
I didn't.
You didn't love.
Love.
Didn't love.
Okay.
I thought it was a very good sort of, you know, in that true story, historical biopic genre that I'm not a fan of. Find rather dry and boring, like the genre as a whole. But this I thought was well made, objectively. I think it's a step down from Whiplash and La La Land. It's not on that level for me. Sensing a lot of hostility.
Interesting. It's very interesting that you would say that.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought Gosling was fantastic. Understated performance. I think he's definitely going to be up for the Oscar, like most likely. Like maybe not to win, but nomination for sure.
Right.
Sound design was mind blowing in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Shit.
Ear blowing, one might say. I was astonished. Like the whole landing scene is worth the price of admission.
Like the launch, you mean?
Spoiler.
Like that whole thing?
Launch and
just
landing.
everything. Yeah.
Everything. Anything
Yeah.
involving the spaceship in general. Yeah, performances were good. It was good all around. It's just
Was it missing the music? Like how those last two movies you mentioned, you know, there's a lot of musical elements, you know.
That rhythm.
Neil Armstrong didn't
Yeah.
play an instrument, did he? Like, oh,
Played the
think-
spaceship.
It was maybe missing the J.K. effect.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, like maybe if Gosling had some sort of mentor who was abusing him and just,
Interesting.
you know.
And
And
that would have added more to it.
I also love the scene, the whole training montage of him when he's in that device, like spinning around,
Yeah, it's
constantly puking.
He actually
Amazing.
did that.
I was gonna say it looked like he actually did
He
it.
did.
Oh, for
Did
sure.
he?
Yeah,
I
he
knew
actually
it.
did it.
He would have had to.
And he doesn't know how many times he did it.
Oh, that's absolutely disgusting.
But overall, you liked it.
Overall, I liked it. It was good.
Well, Victoria, what did you think?
I liked it. It was good. It was well done. I didn't love it as well. It was
Thank
just,
you.
it was a really good, like, docudrama,
Right.
but it didn't blow me away.
Do you guys think it's because of just Neil Armstrong's personality? Does that play a factor?
Yeah, I hate
Yeah,
him.
I think
Just
so.
Her whole persona.
Yeah, like, it was acted well. Ryan did a great job, and I didn't
Yeah.
know anything about Neil Armstrong, so, like,
Same.
didn't know about his family
It's
or, like,
interesting to learn.
anything. So he
Heavy.
played it really well. And, like, I watched an interview with his sons, his, like, real-life sons, and they said that they approved of Ryan's, like, acting, like, loved it.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Got the family approval.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it definitely focused more on the man, like Neil Armstrong, and his drama in his life,
Yeah.
Mhm.
more so than the mission.
Right.
It wasn't really a mission movie. It was like a
Yeah.
character movie. Like it was about him, which was fine. Like I appreciated that.
Yeah, it's just it wasn't like a flashy role per se. It wasn't a
No.
flashy
Yeah.
performance. It was very like
No, it wasn't. Yeah,
very
but that's perfect.
Classic for
Inside,
Ryan
it was,
Gosling,
like,
you know?
inside,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know you just think of like Drive or
Yeah.
Mhm.
any one of the
Blade
movies he's
Runner,
done in the
yeah.
last
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 years, right? Like yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Just quiet.
The sequel, but yeah, it's interesting. But overall, you
Yeah, I
you
liked it.
not loved.
Not loved.
I sense a trend.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, like not love.
Let me be the first man
Oh.
to say I loved it.
Loved
You
it.
loved it.
Wow.
All right.
Damien
I
Chazelle.
loved it. I thought it was amazing. I got to know Neil Armstrong, and it wasn't just like a let's go to space, how do we get
Yeah.
to space kind of thing,
Right.
which we've seen with other movies. They've focused on the space aspect, but this was about his life and his family. And I thought Claire Foy was amazing. Like,
Yeah,
I know
she was
Ryan
really
Gosling
good.
did great, but Claire Foy was like,
Yeah.
Should be
It's
nominated.
holy shit. Like,
Couldn't think of her
she was
name.
great.
I was trying to think of her name and it slipped my mind. Yeah, she was great.
That scene where she's like disciplining her kid and she's trying not to laugh, like,
Yeah.
and she's like, no, like I'm serious, and she's like breaking. It was like, oh, that's actually really.
You guys know
Right,
that
right.
whole a lot of the home scenes where they're sort of like just joking around or playing around, just being a family. That was Damien Chazelle just put them in the house,
Yeah.
like before they really were shooting. I guess you
Mhm.
read that
Yeah.
same thing I read, and he was just like, just go, just be a family, or whatever, and we'll just film you.
Mhm.
And they just
What?
made up all
That's
this stuff and
amazing.
just had a
Really?
good time. We're like
Yeah.
laughing and doing all this stuff, and there wasn't like a script for it. They just did it. They just
Interesting.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
She
Pretty
said in
crazy.
an interview that it was just like she was doing like a domestic like role, and
It's
she didn't have
Playhouse.
anything to do with like the space stuff, so it was just like a nice movie for her. And then when she saw it, she was like, her heart was like breaking for like all the space stuff, but it was just like an
what she
Mhm.
shot. There's
Every day.
no
Yeah,
NASA
there's-
stuff with her. It was all
Right.
yeah, it was just
she was
in the
like at home the
house.
whole time.
Yeah.
Just freaking out.
I thought
Mhm.
Damien Chazelle did like a great job for a movie that was very different than Whiplash and La La Land. Just cut it right back. It was like,
He's
was,
versatile.
Yeah.
This was amazing. I loved the like camera work too. It was all like handheld,
That's true. I
except
never
for the
thought of that.
space parts. It was
It's very
great.
different.
I was like thoroughly like into it. Loved it.
So you're blown away.
I was blown away.
The first man on this
First man.
podcast to say that you loved it.
Loved it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I really liked it.
Oh.
I wouldn't say love. I don't know why. I just can't. I don't know. I just didn't
I think it's
love it.
Part of that, it's just a true thing that happened
Yeah.
that we all know happened. It's hard. It's kind of hard to like.
I mean, that being said, like a lot of things amazed me. Like all of the launch sequences,
Mhm.
those were amazing.
I agree.
Like I was literally like,
Yeah.
I'm like there
I
in
know.
the.
Yes.
It just like it took you there,
Like, is this
and
like
I'm like, this is what they went through.
special
Like this is
seating? Mhm.
insane, right? Just the amount of like G forces, and even when in the like test launch that they did or whatever, where he's like spinning,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just. I
And the
was-
camera's like like they've got it on the chair, so it's just looking at him, and he's just like.
I can't even-
floating
I
around
can't
there,
even
just, like,
imagine.
It's like oh.
But it's like he had to like fight. Like if he blacked out, like they would have been done.
Yeah.
Would have been fucked.
right.
He would have been dead.
Like in the.
But he
real
didn't
stuff.
black out,
Yeah.
Mm.
and so he was able to right the ship or like use the
Yeah.
blasters to like
Correct.
correct it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. Yeah, I just think the sound and just the cinematography was amazing. It was Linus Sandgren did the cinematography. I believe he's done work with him before, if I
Okay.
remember correctly.
La La
I think he
Land?
did La La Land, which all those one takes in La La Land.
Amazing.
Right? But yeah, and Justin Hurwitz again from La La Land did the score. I thought the
Mhm.
score was fantastic.
Yeah.
I seen I think it was the Graham Norton show that Ryan Gosling was on, and they were like playing with the like theremin, that like weird machine where like you play
Yeah.
it with your hands. Like it was like
Yeah.
wah, wah.
What?
It was like pretty interesting to hear that in the score.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just an interesting instrument to hear. But I thought the score was fantastic, and yeah, all the performances were great. I think Gosling was good, but I don't know, he's sort of becoming a little bit of a one-trick pony now.
You think so? You-
Kind of, but I mean, now that I say that, I mean, he did do Nice Guys recently,
Oof.
which was very different.
Very different than.
Animated.
I wish he did
Yeah.
that more often, because it seems like he enjoys playing those characters that are really, like, having this internal struggle,
Yeah.
and not
Mhm.
necessarily an external,
Mm-hmm.
showing it externally, so... But I mean, Claire Foy was fantastic. I mean, everyone, you know, it's sort of a pretty basic. Could have been a really basic role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she like elevated it
Yeah.
because of her skill. I thought the whole supporting cast was great as well.
Yeah.
I like Corey Stoll as Buzz Aldrin.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He was,
was
pretty
hilarious.
funny. Like just
What a savage.
he's a savage. Was he really like that? Like
Yeah.
I guess he
think he's known
was.
for
I
being
think
like-
so,
Didn't he
yeah.
punch someone in the face at a
I'm-
press conference? or
Really?
something?
Yes.
A moon.
Thanks.
Please,
Thanks,
producer,
Sam.
yeah, chime in.
Someone
Like,
denied the moon, and he
Right.
just, like, clocked him.
at like 80 years old
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
He's like, no, I went to the moon.
Oh my god.
Well,
Eat this right.
You think about what like they went through, like
Yeah.
if
Right.
you think about that movie and like
Right.
what he would have been through.
No, what we actually saw
Yeah.
was what Kubrick shot when they faked the moon landing. This is how they faked it.
They
Was
got
this
the
the real
tapes.
footage? Yeah.
So actually, I guess Damien Chazelle went back in time
right.
and then
Right.
filmed the moon
Yeah.
landing
Yeah.
like this, and then
I read that too.
Yeah, it's fake. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
That's
Fake.
Moon landing is fake.
Well, did
Confirmed.
I stayed for the after credits. I don't know if you guys saw where they confirmed.
And it was
fake.
Kubrick talking with Damien
Yeah.
Chazelle,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, they're making the movie, right?"
Yeah, it was sick. Man.
Yeah, that's sick.
The true story about the fake story.
But yeah, I just think the whole supporting cast was great. Kyle Chandler, solid. Like there was no like weak
Even the
person.
kids were
The
good.
kids were
Yeah.
good.
The
Yeah.
kids were very good.
Mm-hmm.
That dinner scene before they go up,
Like
and the
telling
kids just
him
like
that he
looking
might
at
not
his
come back.
dad, like, so
He
you're
has
telling
to like
me
tell him.
there's
Yeah.
a chance you could not come back, and he's just like, brutal.
Savage.
Oh.
But I did like Jason Clarke. He's always hit and miss for me sometimes. Like I think of like that Terminator movie.
Who's Jason Clarke?
He played the like friend that was like wanted to be the guy that went on the moon.
Oh, okay.
But he was in like Everest. He's in a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But-
Even apes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's an apes.
He was pretty good. I liked his whole character story. Right, what happened with his character?
Mm-hmm.
And there was definitely some heartbreaking moments in this film.
Mm.
Just savage, just to sort of, you know, put the perspective on how perilous it was to
Yeah.
be like a NASA astronaut or like a test pilot
Or
or
how
whatever.
crazy
Yeah.
this whole mission like
Yeah.
is. And they got the boards at the beginning. They're like, "Yo, yeah, we're going all the way." They're like, "Give me that board." And
That's
they've
hilarious.
drawn like a second
Yeah.
board to like show the scale of how far they're going.
It's
And
honest-
like, yeah,
it's
Russia's over
honestly
here, but
insane.
we're like all the way over here.
It's insane. Like, why would you shoot someone in a little tin
I
can
know.
Yeah.
through it on
That's what I
a
was
giant
thinking.
rocket, like flammable
Yeah.
rocket,
Like-
a little tin can
This,
to this tiny, like, why?
To
the
the moon.
shots
It's
of
insane.
them inside the tin
Yeah.
can literally is like they're in a tin can.
Yeah.
Like it just, I did feel like I was there when Gosling's just looking out the window and
Mm-hmm.
he's got like this much room and there's just this little tiny window beside his head.
Yeah.
It's kind of eye opening for me because it's like you think of space and you think like Chris Hadfield and like they're like
Right.
woo and they got that whole ISS,
Yeah.
but like that's not how they got there.
No.
They're strapped into
This
This is
is
not
Space,
comfortable.
right?
This is not a comfortable
eating like
thing.
No.
little Gatorade
Like,
pouches
yeah,
of food, like
tubes.
Yeah.
just with the bare necessities in there. It's pretty
Crazy.
It's pretty cool.
Well, should we give our ratings and then we can discuss some spoiler stuff, perhaps? I'll start off. I'm gonna go. This is solid. It's a solid 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
It's a 4 out of 5 for me.
Vic,
I think a light 4.
light 4.
Mhm.
Light 4. Interesting.
I'm going 4. Solid 4 banger.
Sorry, you have to. It goes in order. From
Yeah, I'll just go.
yeah.
I'm just
No,
gonna leave.
left to right.
So,
Heavy fucking with it. Heavy 4.
heavy 4.
Heavy 4.
Not a 5.
Not a 5.
I expected
Loved
a
it.
5.
Loved it.
Loved
I did love it.
Loved
I was throwing you
But
the
that's-
alley
it's not
so you could
perfect.
like
Yeah.
5.
No.
All right. Well, fair warning if you haven't seen First Man. I'm sure most of you haven't because it's only really playing at the festivals. It is coming
Not
out.
in
I'm trying to
theaters.
remember when it's coming out. It's like November or something.
No, it's at October, I
Or
think. but-
second week, third week of October, something like that.
Late,
Producer.
the 14th.
I believe it's 14th.
of
I think
October.
14.
I think that weekend, I'm pretty sure.
All
That's
right.
what he's here for.
Yeah, fair warning if you haven't seen it.
It's out in 2 weeks.
We will be discussing some spoilery things, so you've been warned.
Can't be
Um,
spoiled is my question. Are there spoilers?
Well, maybe Phil could help us out. What didn't you what caused it to not be a 5 then for you?
Yeah, Phil.
I don't want to say it's slow to get into it,
Ooh, he thought it was
The pace.
boring.
but the beginning is such a like punch in your gut, because like we don't, me personally, I don't know a lot about Neil Armstrong, and then to find out very early on that like, and like in the first 2 minutes of the movie that he's had this little girl, she's got cancer, and she dies. It's just like boom, boom, boom. It's just like
punch.
And he's this like, I don't know where he was working, but he's this like pilot, and he's like failing out of his test pilot. He's like being a shitty test pilot, well, because his daughter is dying and going through cancer, so it's understandable. But just like getting through that, and then like to come back to it at the end, I wish there was more of like his daughter's impact throughout the movie. Like to see, there was a bit of it.
It was bookended, but
Yeah.
you wish there was more of it.
Yeah,
through.
like I like thinking about like watching it. I like going back and like thinking about his daughter and like how that's why it was so important to him. But then, like at the end, it was like I wish there was just more of his daughter in it, because like that was.
But that's
definitely
probably
his motivation.
Neil as a person. He probably didn't.
No, I know.
Ever
But
talk about
Like,
it.
shut it out.
Yeah,
there was a cool moment.
Can we talk about that? Like, did that actually happen? Like,
I don't know. I don't.
Like, what do you guys think?
No.
Like,
How would you
No?
got it on the?
No chance.
there's no chance.
No.
Why
It's
not?
a cool moment.
I mean,
for the movie.
when his buddy dies in the plane crash in Salt Lake or whatever, and then
Yeah.
they go to the funeral, and then he just like dips out of the funeral, and then Jason Clarke's driving Claire Foy home in the back, and she's like, "Oh, does he ever talk to you about?" I forget her name now. I feel like a dick, but does he ever talk to you about?
I don't know.
Your
I feel
daughter.
like it's like Janet or something.
No,
Jan-
Shan is Claire Foy, like his wife's name.
Sophie
Janet.
or something.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, it was
Sophie?
Janet Armstrong. Yeah, Janet.
that's the daughter's
That's
name.
not the daughter.
Oh, we're talking about the daughter.
Yeah.
We're talking about Claire Foy's
And
name.
so Claire Foy's in the back. She's like, does he ever talk to you about like
The daughter's name.
Sophie or whatever the daughter's name is? And he's like, "Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
occasionally."
We'll go with
And then
Sophie.
like a little while later, they're having a walk down like a road, and he like Ryan Gosling looks at his swing, and he's like, "Oh, like Sophie had a swing that she loved."
Sophie. We need to know the name.
And look,
I feel terrible. And he's like, "Oh, Sophie had a swing that she loved like that." And then
Didn't
Jason
it say
Clarke's
it? It
like,
said it on the
"Oh, is that your daughter?" Like,
bracelet.
so like you know that like he's never
No, I
spoken
can't.
to
It's
Jason
not out
Clarke
yet.
about his daughter. Okay, yeah, we'll just figure out
Don't
the
need
name.
to
That's
know
fine.
what.
It was just like this cool moment where it's
Yeah.
like he hasn't actually talked about his daughter with anybody, not his
Yeah.
wife, not his
Right.
best friend at work, not like anybody. It's just been something that it's like he's kept with him, and I like that a lot. And I was like, that's really cool.
This isn't a spoiler, but I noticed like you just reminded me of it. In Damien Chazelle's movies, they're all about one character's.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, two of the three. They're all about a character like shutting everything out to get this goal, right? Like Miles Teller drumming, Gosling opening the jazz club, Gosling getting to the moon. He's like ignoring family, like sacrificing everything, shutting out the whole world around them, and just going with their ambition, like trying to complete this task. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
That's just like very, very interesting to me.
And the Gemini 8 mission was crazy.
Oh my god.
The Gemini 8 mission.
That was fucked. I didn't know about
Karen?
Karen.
Yes.
Karen.
Karen.
the
It
people
was
wanted
on the
it.
bracelet.
Cool moment. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
I just forgot her name when
Yeah.
it was like short.
Sophie
R.I.P.
works, but
Karen.
it's Karen.
Karen.
Sophie.
Rip Sophie.
that. Yeah.
Anything more specifically you guys want to talk about? Spoilery? I mean, it's pretty cut and dry.
How brutal was
done.
that White House scene? There's at the White House and he gets the
Oh,
call
That they died in the
that they're
in the
they're just
fire.
like in the test
Yeah.
before they go up, and they're just done.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "What's the cost of this mission?" Blah blah blah. And 3 guys die.
I did really like the, like, when he was testing the, like, I don't know what it was. It's, like, weird, like, skeleton-looking thing.
Well, that was the rover.
Right.
Oh.
But he was, like, testing it, and he was just being super aggressive.
Yeah.
Because I guess it was, like, after someone died. Maybe it was right after
It
that
was.
sequence.
I think it was after that scene because
Yeah.
that's when it becomes like, okay, you're going to the moon now.
Yeah, he just became really aggressive. But,
You're
like,
Plan A.
he... When he crashes it, and just, like, the explosion and everything, clearly practical. I don't know. It's just...
Yeah.
Like, did he actually fly that? Like, I
Amazing.
don't understand. Like,
I don't know.
I love
Probably
that
not.
shot.
but
What
yeah,
even
just-
was that
And
contraption?
again, he loses everything to complete the task, right? Like, everybody. It's fucked.
Crazy.
Loved it.
Love it.
Well,
like it a lot. Sorry.
I think that'll do it for our review of First Man. Victoria, where can people find you?
On Instagram, Victoria Halls.
Sick. Phil?
Letterboxd, Wicked Swami, hit me up.
Wicked Swami.
You
Adam?
can find me on Twitter at Franny25 and Instagram and Letterboxd at UprealAdam.
You can find us as well on Facebook, Instagram,
Twitter?
Twitter.
Twitter?
Up real late.
Twitter?
We don't really update the Twitter anymore, do we?
Every now and then.
You can find myself, Scott, as well on Letterboxd at UpRealScott. As well, if you did like this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section. And, of course, subscribe if you haven't already. And, as always, keep it real.